In this video, we'll explore the variables feature, a powerful tool for storing, manipulating, and transferring data within your workflows. Variables act as temporary storage units, allowing you to handle data dynamically and increase the efficiency of your automation processes. So, what are variables? Well, in Autom Mate, variables serve as placeholders for data. They allow you to store and process information as your workflow runs, providing flexibility and enabling dynamic, responsive automations. Whether you need to perform calculations, temporarily hold results, or transfer data between actions, variables are essential for seamless workflow execution. Now, let's look at how to create and use variables in your workflows. Here you can see we already have an Autom that's built. You'll learn how to build this later on in this module. Every single action you see already on this Autom uses variables, and you can find them here. They're always identifiable, with 2 hashtags at the beginning and 2 hashtags at the end. Everything here is the variable, and we use these throughout all of these actions. To create a new variable, we go up to the top left, click on the plus here, and then click on Add New. We're then given this screen where we can customize our variable to be exactly how we want it to be. Firstly, we have the variable type. Each of these has a different function as a variable. Firstly, we have array. We use arrays to store sequential elements of the same type, which is ideal for managing lists of data. Boolean stores either a true or a false value, which is helpful for decision-making processes. Data tables store structured data in a table format, perfect for handling large sets of data. The date variable is used to store and manipulate date values, making time-based operations easier. Dictionary stores data in key value pairs, allowing for efficient data retrieval. Number is used for any calculations or quantitative analysis. Object variables refers to addresses of objects, useful for complex data manipulation. And finally, string. String variables store sequences of characters, such as text or strings of data. Once you've selected the variable that you need, you can then give it a name. You'll want to choose a descriptive name to easily identify the variable. We then want to give it a name. Normally you'd want to choose a descriptive name so you can easily identify the variable. If you give it a name like you remember, like mail fetch, for example, you could then just type in hashtag mail fetch, hashtag, and that variable will be used wherever you need it. For example, like right here with this error mail value to assign. You can then give it a display name. You can give it a value by clicking this plus here. You can give it a description. And then finally, you can set it as either an input or an output. These define how the variable will function within the flow. Then when you're done, you click Save. And that variable will be saved in this variables section on the left-hand side of the screen. As I've mentioned, you can reference variables within actions to process or display data. To do this, you enclose the variable name between double hash symbols. For example, again, if we go and get a string action, and let's just say string assign below this one here. If we wanted to get a variable here, we can click this plus, and we've got access to all the variables that I've created within this Autom. So if I click on mail fetch, for example, and then add, you'll see that it adds it with this. Now this variable is slightly different. You'll see that it has the 0 in between. This is because this variable is accessing specific values using indexes. These will help you customize your variables depending on what you need when you need it, in specific areas of your Autom. Some of the best practices to follow when working with variables in Autom Mate are variable naming, so using descriptive names so they're easily locatable and usable, and then maintaining consistency. You want to stick to a consistent naming convention to avoid confusion when managing multiple variables. Also, data integrity. You want to make sure the data stored in your variables is accurate and has been properly validated. This will help you avoid hiccups later down the way. You also want to update variables correctly. Regularly update the values of your variables to reflect the latest data in your workflow. And finally, clear documentation. You want to ensure that you document the purpose of each variable in your workflow for clarity. Include instructions on how variables should be used, particularly if they will be accessed by other team members. This is why when creating the variable, you've got areas like description, where you can put in everything you need or everything you need other people to know about what that variable is for and what might need to be done with it. In summary, the variables feature in Autom Mate is key to creating dynamic, flexible, and powerful workflows. By storing, manipulating, and transferring data efficiently, variables allow you to automate complex processes with ease. Following best practices for managing variables will ensure that your workflows are clear, efficient, and reliable.